Our channel is often bashed for being anti-religion, which we absolutely are, for many reasons. There are a number of problems with religion. It's very self-righteous. It's based on fiction rather than science. That's how Al-Qaeda operates. That's why we had 911, because a group of self-righteous religious types, fanatics, cultists, decided on their own that for some reason the United States of America offended them, using terms like infidel. Christians do exactly the same thing. All religions do. They separate themselves into a very unique and self-righteous cult that determines and dictates on their own, based on their own fiction, dogma. It has nothing to do with reality and never should. Second, they also disregard science. They live by fiction. They don't approve of stem cell research, which saves lives. They'd rather have people suffer the loss of life or endure enormous pain than simply succumb to the advancements of science, technology. They also have no tolerance. These alleged all-loving Christians aren't for gay rights. They don't approve of gays. Well, there's a pretty simple solution to this. Their imaginary God doesn't approve of gays. Then let her deal with them. There's no man that gives birth to anything, so for purposes of this particular argument, we'll use a female God, since that would be the most likely. If you're actually an all-loving Christian, then you would love gays as well. They present no threat to you and have nothing to do with your lives. And if this God thing that you happen to believe in on your own without having any evidential proof whatsoever happens to be your reason for disliking them or whatever you believe, why not just leave them alone and let this all-powerful alleged creature handle the repercussions? You're not God. Additionally, regarding tolerance, Christians tend to decide on their own. They want to dictate based on their dogma, based on their beliefs in myth, fantasy, fairy tales. The idea of being pro-life and shooting an abortion doctor doesn't really make any sense. If every single life is worth preserving, then there would be no reason to harm an abortion doctor. That would just be violating your own idiotic principles, which you shouldn't be enforcing. This imaginary God thing that you believe in, or at least say you believe in, that should be determining, deciding, dictating, and executing on whatever actions it has in mind, if it actually exists. Otherwise, you should just stay out of it. And if you actually believe in free will and you're all loving, then gays would be perfectly right doing whatever they choose to do, as women would be perfectly right to choose what to do with their own bodies. You would just be interfering. Religious people are sheep. They're not really even able to make independent thought. They follow. They're dictated to, and they follow and adhere to everything that's said in their dogma, their book of fiction, their fairy tale. They believe all that and they live by it, that crude, primitive, medieval thinking. They apply it to today's standards of living. It's absurd. It creates backwards people who can't even understand how science works. It's perfectly idiotic, childish, worthless. It has no value. So these are some of the principal reasons why we, on this channel, dislike religion so much. It's dangerous. It's what was responsible for 911, the Crusades. You could go over it 1,000 times, still reach the very same conclusion. Intelligent people are generally not religious. As intelligence rises, religiosity drops like a rock.